Sydney versus Brisbane versus Melbourne. Which city is the best city in Australia? In this video I want to talk about these three cities. I visited all these three cities during my time in Australia, and yeah, we're gonna find out which city is the best. So let's go. Sydney is one of the best cities I ever visited, and it's a special place for me because I spent there my semester abroad. I studied at the University of Sydney, so this is also the city I spent the most of the time, and I really get to know the city, and this is also why I really love Sydney. Sydney has also the most iconic landmark from all the cities in Australia. It's the famous Opera House. So if you're from Germany and think about Australia, the first thing you think about is the Opera House, is Sydney. So yeah, it's maybe also the most famous city in Australia. So this is also a really special thing. Another famous landmark is the Sydney Eye Tower, and I was up there at the bar. We spent there an evening and waited for the sunset and had a great view over the whole city. This was also pretty great. More special things are of course Sydney Harbour. This is the place where the opera is, and the Sydney Harbour Bridge. A cool thing I also did a video about this, was the Harbour Walk. It was from Darling Harbour to Sydney Harbour, so I walked along the coast and also saw some of the iconic landmarks. And also the sunset from the Observatory hill is pretty amazing. In Barangaroo there's also this tall building and everything. This is also pretty cool. So in Sydney there's a lot to see, a lot to explore, and the whole city has a great vibe. And yeah, I spent there most of the time, so this is also why I really like this. Also Newtown is a great place. It was close to my student accommodation and it has this chill vibe and looked like a movie set. It was also pretty amazing. Another thing that is important for me when I talk about a city is the Botanic Garden, and the Royal Botanic Gardens in Sydney are really nice. They are really beautiful. One of the best botanic gardens I've ever visited, so this is also pretty good. And also like you can walk from there to Sydney Harbour to the Opera House. It's also pretty great. Also the Art Gallery of New South Wales, it's close to the Botanic Gardens. It's also pretty great. So there's also a lot of art and culture in Sydney. The public transport in Sydney is actually pretty good. There are trains, there are light rails, there are buses, and you can just pay with your phone, with your credit card and everything. So this went pretty well, and there wasn't a problem with the public transport in Sydney. The nightlife was just okay. I talked about this in another video. Most of the clubs just played mainstream music, and all the clubs were in different parts of the city. Not everything, it wasn't too far away. Like the most famous club was Ivy. It is cool for special events. Ivy Thursdays wasn't too great. I really liked Home the Venue in Darling Harbour. It was pretty good. And Sydney is also great for just doing a pub crawl, so nightlife was just okay. The best things about Sydney, or close to Sydney, were the beaches. It was so great to take the ferry from Sydney Harbour to Manly Beach, go up to the northern beaches, to Freshwater Beach, Kulka Beach, but also Coogee Beach was really great. I wasn't a fan of Bondi, but Bondi Beach is the most famous beach there, and yeah, the beaches around Sydney are so awesome. And this is also a thing where I say the beaches around Sydney are really special and also are like an argument for Sydney, and yeah, it's so awesome. Sydney is also close to the Blue Mountains. It takes like 2 hours by train, 1 hour by car, and the Blue Mountains are really amazing. It's nature. There is the Great Canyon, the Three Sisters is a rock formation, waterfalls. You can go there for a hike and you're away from the city and can just enjoy the nature. And I just add this to Sydney. It's also part of Sydney for me. So yeah, the Blue Mountains are also a really great thing about Sydney. And I have to say, I love Sydney. Sydney will always be in my heart, because I spent there so many days, so many nights, and it was an amazing time. So yeah, Sydney is definitely an awesome city. The first thing I have to say about Brisbane is not boring. Before I went there, or even during my time there, my friends or other people said Brisbane is boring, there's nothing to do, but that's not true. I actually made a video about this to show you that Brisbane is not boring. I have to say, Brisbane is an awesome city. It's a really great Sydney, and I fell in love a little bit. So yeah, I don't know what it was, but I really enjoyed my time in Brisbane. I have to say Brisbane is really, really cool. The city offers a lot of attractions. The best part of the city is definitely South Bank and the walk along the river. And there along the way you can see the Wheel of Brisbane, a rainforest track where you can explore the rainforest a little bit, also pools, and the pools are really great, they are public pools. It's also because there are no beaches close by, so yeah, this is not too great that there are no beaches, but you can just go to the pools. South Bank, the whole region has just a great vibe, also the river and everything. I really like this, and when you walk along the river you also have a great view of the skyline of Brisbane. Another famous landmark is definitely the Story Bridge. During the day it doesn't look too great, it's just the grey bridge, but during the night it's illuminated, so it's also really great. And also the walk along the river there along the Story Bridge is pretty great, especially in the evening. It's just calm and chilled. And Brisbane is also not too populated, so it's like more chilled, not too crowded, and I really like this. They are also like this Anzac memorials, they also look, they're in every city, but in Brisbane they also look really great, like from the ancient time. And yeah, I really like this. I don't know, I can't really explain it too much, but the whole vibe, I really love Brisbane. I also have to talk about the art galleries and the museums. I was in the Queensland Museum and in a lot of art galleries. You can also find a lot of art and culture in Brisbane. This is also great. And yeah, I also have to talk about the Botanic Gardens, and they were also really great. They gave me rainforest vibes, so they were also great with all the parks and everything. So I would say the Botanic Gardens in Sydney are better, but I also really liked the Botanic Gardens in Brisbane. The public transport was a little bit difficult because there were trains, but most of the time you could just use buses because there were no light rails or trams. This was a little bit difficult, and you had to use there was like a travel card you had to use. You can't pay with your phone. I think they maybe changed it now, so I can't tell you, and they are working on something, so yeah, they maybe have fixed this. I would say the nightlife in Brisbane was better. I really liked Fortitude Valley. This was a place where all the clubs and bars were in one place together, and there were different clubs and bars with different themes, different topics and everything. So I spent there one night out, so this was also great, and I like this more than the nightlife in Sydney. So yeah, this is also an argument for Brisbane. Close to Brisbane is also the Australian Rainforest, Tamborine Mountain. So we also took a car to drive there. You have to take a car, the public transport doesn't lead you there. But it was really great because I love the Australian rainforest and I always wanted to be there. And yeah, it's also close by. And also, if you want to go to the beach, Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast are not too far away. It's about 1.5 to 2 hours by public transport. With car, it's even closer, so you can also spend time there. So yeah, you won't miss out anything. So this is also great that Brisbane is close by other places. As you already guessed, I really love Brisbane. There is actually a lot to do. It's more calm, it's more chilled. There are negative aspects like the public transport, but I really love the city, I really love the vibe. Melbourne is Australia's capital of art, fashion and culture. What I really like about Melbourne is the architecture, the buildings and everything. And they are actually working on the highest building in Australia. Right now it's the Q1 building, the Sky Deck in Gold Coast, but they will build an even taller building in Melbourne. I really love the architecture in Melbourne. Also, the public transport in Melbourne is pretty great. The trams are free in the city and they actually look pretty great. So I also had a lot of fun in Melbourne, but a negative thing about Melbourne is definitely the weather. As I've been told, you can experience all 4 seasons in one day, and yeah, at one day it started sunny, then it was cloudy, then it started to rain, and then at night it was pretty cold, but I was there in winter, so it might be normal there, but I still really like the city. The Botanic Gardens were like the best. They were even better than the ones in Sydney. They were so great. I can't talk about the nightlife because I haven't experienced the nightlife in Melbourne, but I've heard it is pretty amazing, so yeah, it might be true. I definitely have to go back to Melbourne at some point to explore or experience the city a little bit more. A great place was also Albert Park, and this leads to another topic because Melbourne is famous for its sports events because there is the Formula 1 circuit, the Formula 1 Grand Prix of Australia. So this is also what Melbourne is famous for. Also, of course, the Australian Open. It also takes place in Melbourne. So if you are interested in sports, Melbourne is well to visit and you can just go there. And yeah, this is also makes up the vibe in Melbourne, if you understand what I mean. Melbourne is also close to a beach. It's called St Kilda. It feels a little bit like a little beach town. And this was also great. I really enjoyed my time there. The weather wasn't too great, but I would say in summer when the sun is shining, St Kilda is a really great place with a great vibe. So also the beach is not far away. This is also an argument for Melbourne, and yeah, I still really like this area in Melbourne. Melbourne is a great city, but I didn't have too much time there, so I have to go back. And I can't talk about everything, so yeah, I have to go back to Melbourne, see it again, experience it again, but I still really like Melbourne. So, which city is the best city in Australia? For me, it's actually Brisbane, because, I don't know, I just fell in love with Brisbane. I like the whole vibe, I like that it's not too crowded, there's a lot to do. I really like the walk along the river, I like South Bank, and yeah, for me, Brisbane is my favorite. I love Brisbane, more love for Brizzy. But Sydney will always be in my heart because I spent there most of the time, and it's just an amazing city. And yeah, I would say, most of the people would say Sydney is the best. And I would say, yeah, maybe it is, but I don't know, Brisbane is more special for me. I don't know. Sydney is still a really great city, but it's maybe also too mainstream, too overpopulated and everything. And yeah, Melbourne is third place for me because I haven't seen enough of Melbourne, so I have to go back. But I love Brizzy. Sydney will always be in my heart, and it's an amazing city. At Melbourne, I have to go back. What is your favorite city in Australia? Do you also like Brisbane, or is Sydney your favorite? Or do you like Melbourne even more? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Cheers!